Wow, Mulan is brave. I bet she's... Oh, hi, how are you? I didn't see you there. I was thinking about how brave Mulan is. Do you want to hear a story about Mulan? All right. Well, let's see what Mulan's up to today. Long ago, beyond the Great Wall of China, a young woman named Fa Mulan lived with her family. One day, the Emperor's aide rode into town. "The Han's have invaded China," he announced. "One man from every family must serve in the imperial army." Mulan's father felt that it was his duty to join the army, even though he had been injured in earlier battles. That night, he began to practice some fighting moves, unaware that Mulan was watching. Suddenly, a pain from an old wound shot through his leg, and he collapsed on the floor. Mulan knew that her father wouldn't be able to survive in another battle, so she decided to disguise herself as a man and take his place. She cut her hair, put on soldier's clothing, and left in the middle of the night on her horse Khan. But Mulan was not alone. The spirits of her ancestors sent Mushu, a tiny dragon, along to protect her. Mulan being a man? Why would Mulan pretend to be a man? Do you think it's because that she wanted to join the army like her father? Good point. Let's see what happens next. They arrive at the army camp. Mushu whispers suggestions about how to look more like a man. "Show me your man walk," he said. "Shoulders back, chest high, feet apart, head up, and strut." "I don't think I can do this," whispered Mulan. "It's all attitude," Mushu told her. Mulan took a deep breath and strode into camp. She tried to make friends with the other soldiers, Shane Pao, Yao, and Ling. But she ended up causing a fight. The camp was in total chaos when Captain Shane arrived. "Soldiers!" the captain shouted. Everyone sprang into attention and pointed at Mulan. "He started!" they said in unison. "Sorry," Mulan said. Then she remembered she was supposed to be a man and lowered her voice. I mean, sorry. "What's your name?" Shane asked. "My name is, Ping," Mulan told him. She handed him her army papers and frowned. She was not off to a start. I don't think the army camp is doing really well, because Mulan just doesn't know what being in the army looks like yet. What do you think? Shall we see what happens next? Captain Shane was a skillful leader, and though Mulan felt clumsy and inadequate, she worked as hard as she could. She didn't want anyone to find out that she was a girl. Shane led the recruits through a series of grueling training exercises to help them prepare for battle. One of the lessons involved retrieving an arrow from the top of the pole while carrying a heavy bronze disc tied to each wrist. "One represents discipline, the other strength," Shane said, pulling out the discs. "You need both to reach the arrow." No one was able to do it, but finally, after several attempts, Mulan had an idea. She tied the weights onto her wrists, but looked them together, and used them to hoist herself to the top. She had done it! All the soldiers admired Mulan's determination, and they still didn't know that she wasn't a man. After much training, Shane led the soldiers to the tung shao pass to meet the rest of the army. I think Mulan is doing really well. And nobody knows that she's actually a man. But deep down, she's a girl. What do you think? Shall we see what happens next? When they arrived, they discovered that the army had been defeated, and none of the soldiers had survived. Shane was especially upset when he realized that his father, General Li, had been killed. Shane composed himself and turned into his soldiers. "The Huns are moving quickly! We're the only hope for the Emperor now! Move out!" he ordered. Before long, the Huns discovered Shane and his troops. Hundreds of them raced over the mountaintop, firing arrows at Shane's small band of soldiers. At first, it seemed like Shane and his army will meet a similar fate as his father. But Mulan got an idea. She seized a cannon and ran right toward the Huns. When she had almost reached their leader, Shan Yu, Mulan aimed the cannon above his head. The rocket hit the mountain behind him and caused a huge avalanche. Snow tumbled down quickly, burying the enemy. Uh-oh. I think the army is not going to like this at all. Because Mulan was just being clumsy. Do you still think that she'll make the army? I don't know. Let's see what happens next. Mulan had been wounded, but she would still be able to jump on her horse and pull Shane away from the snow just before he was buried. As Shane Po and the others helped him to safety, Shane looked at Mulan with admiration.
King, you are the craziest man I ever met. For that, I owe you my life, he said. From now on, you have my trust.
But Mulan's wound had to be treated by a doctor. It was then the doctor told the soldiers that Ping was really a woman named Mulan. At that time in China, Mulan's deception was punishable by death. Shane, spare her! A life for a life, he declared. My debt is repaid! He told her that she would not be allowed to continue on with the other soldiers. Dejected, Mulan watched the troops march away, leaving her alone with Mushu and Khan. With a heavy heart, she confided in the dragon. I should never have left home. I just want to do things right, so that when I look in the mirror, I would see someone worthwhile. But I was wrong. I see nothing. You risk your life to help the people you love, Mushu replied. But don't worry. Things will work out. I think Mushu might be right. Things will definitely work out, as long as Mulan will do the right thing. What do you think? Shall we see what happens next? As Mulan turned toward home, she saw that Shan Yu and a few Huns had survived and were heading toward the Imperial City. Racing on horseback to the Imperial City, Mulan found Shane and told him what she had seen.
You don't belong here, he replied. Go home!
You have to believe me, said Mulan. Shane wouldn't listen. But soon, the Huns seized the Emperor and ran into the palace. Mulan turned to her friends for help. Shane Po, Lin, and Yao tried and failed to break down the palace door. Hey, I have an idea, Mulan called. Eager to help their quick-thinking friend, the soldiers let Mulan dress them as women. Then, they used the sashes from the dresses to climb the palace columns, and Shane realized that Mulan was trustworthy and joined their effort. Once inside, they attacked the unsuspecting Huns. Do you think Mulan will really save China and save her father? I don't know. Let's see. Together, Mulan, Shane, and the others knocked out the Han soldiers and rescued the Emperor. Furious that the Emperor had escaped, the Han leader drew his sword.
You took away my victory!
Shan Yu growled at Shane. No, said Mulan. I did. She pulled back her hair so Shan Yu would recognize her.
The soldier from the mountains!
The Han leader cried. He began to chase her for his revenge. Leading Shan Yu to the top of the palace, Mulan grabbed his sword and pinned his cloak to the roof. Mushu shot toward him on a rocket, and the little dragon jumped to safety just before the rocket blasted Shan Yu into a tower of fireworks. Uh-oh. I think Mulan might be killed, like her father was in the army. What do you think? Shall we see what happens next? After the battle, the Emperor approached Mulan.
I have heard a great deal about you, Fan Mulan, he said. You stole your father's armor, ran away from home, impersonated a soldier, deceived your commanding officer, dishonored the Chinese army, destroyed my palace, and you have saved us all!
Then he bowed to Mulan in gratitude. Stunned, everyone else did the same.
See to it that this woman is made a member of my council,
the emperor told his eye. Mulan was honored, but knew that she needed to return to her family.
Then take this, so your family will know what you have done for me,
the emperor said, handing her a pendant with his crest on it. Then he gave her Shan Yu's sword.
And this, so the world will know what you have done for China.
Mulan thanked the emperor and said goodbye to her friends. It was time to go home and face her father. Yay! Mulan did it! She saved them all, and she saved China too. Do you think she'll join the army now? Let's see what happens next. At home, Mulan presented the emperor's pendant and Shan Yu's sword to her father. There are gifts to honor the Fa family, she explained, bowing her head. He put them aside and hugged Mulan.
The greatest gift and honor is having you for a daughter, he said.
Shayna followed Mulan home, and he had realized that his feelings for her had grown. She had been very courageous, and he admired her for it. And Mulan thought it shame to stay for dinner, and he and her family celebrated, delighted everything had turned out so well. And from that day forward, Mulan learned that if you try and do what's right, things usually work out for you. Even if it worked out for saving the army and then saving her father from the army. Even if she was a man. And that's the end of the story. Wow. That was a fun story about Mulan, and I had a blast learning about Mulan. And I bet you enjoyed learning about Mulan too. Thank you so much for coming for story time today. And please make sure you subscribe to my channel for more story time. And come again next time when we do some more story time adventures with me, Uncle Jason. And always remember, if you try and do what's right, things usually work out for you. Well, see you next time!